Ready? Start. Thus, the subject matter of the writ petition deals with the action of the respondent department with regard to a misconduct under the service rules and the constitution and the conduct of the internal complaints committee under the service rules full stop. Undoubtedly, this falls within the definition of Section 3(q)(4) of the Administrative Tribunals Act, 1985, which is excluded from the purview of the writ jurisdiction. The petitioner is yet to participate in the inquiry proceedings conducted by the second respondent committee. He has only sent a reply, submitting his explanation for the accusation made against him by the fourth respondent. The second respondent committee is yet to submit its inquiry report, giving its recommendation either for or against the petitioner. Even before any progress is made in the inquiry with regard to the sexual harassment complaint given by the fourth respondent, the present writ petition has been filed by the petitioner, which, in the considered view of this court, is premature. When adequate safeguards are given to the respondent the petitioner herein in the POSH Act, 2013, in case the complaint is found to be false and malicious, the necessity for the petitioner to approach this court under Article 226 of the Constitution of India does not arise. The complaint given by the fourth respondent on the face of it cannot be treated as a vague or a false one. The complaint narrates instances of innuendos made by the petitioner. Unless and until the same is inquired by the second respondent committee, after hearing both the petitioner and the fourth respondent complainant truth cannot be unhurted. Only after investigation by the second respondent committee, it can also be found out whether the investigation was conducted in a fair and an unbiased manner. Merely on conjectures and surmises, the petitioner's allegation of bias against some of the members of the second respondent committee cannot be accepted by this court. Even before participating in the inquiry proceedings, the petitioner has filed this writ petition, which, in the considered view of this court, is premature and not maintainable. Excepting for making allegations of bias against some of the members of the second respondent committee, the allegations are not supported by any undisputed evidence which will make any court of law to believe that those allegations are true. Any interference by this court at this stage will defeat the very object of the POSH Act, 2013, which has been legislated to provide protection against sexual harassment of women at workplace and for the prevention and redressal of complaint of sexual harassment and matters related therewith or incidental thereto. The question of limitation in the present case is essentially a disputed question of fact, since the fourth respondent contends in her complaint that even after December 2021, which is the last specific incident of sexual harassment mentioned, she has been continuously harassed by repeated phone calls from the petitioner till the lodging of the complaint on 24/5/2022. However, the petitioner would contend that the complaint is barred by limitation as per section 9 of the POSH Act, 2013, full stop. Being a disputed question of fact, it is for the inquiry committee to decide as to whether the complaint lodged by the fourth respondent is barred by limitation or not, full stop. The second proviso of section 9 of the POSH Act, 2013 provides for a further period of 3 months, if the committee is satisfied that the fourth respondent has shown sufficient reasons for not preferring the complaint within a period of 3 months from the date of last incident, full stop. This court under Article 226 of the Constitution of India cannot decide disputed questions of fact, and it can be decided only by the second respondent based on oral and documentary evidence, full stop, para. The case of the petitioner does not fall under any of the. Thanks friends watching my video. Like, share and subscribe please.